Hello everyone, it's Lel, and in this video I am going to share my top 5 Delicious Party PreCure episodes. I chose my 5 favorites, and I'm also going to share some of the members' favorites as well. And even though Delicious Party has ended, there's still a lot to talk about that season. So the first thing I'm going to do is a top 5 favorite episodes. There's also the Cine Awards coming soon. I am so excited for you guys to see the results of your votes. I'm super hyped. But today I'm going to talk about my favorite episodes. So let's start with the 5th episode, my number 5, which is episode 31. Episode 31 is called A Holiday in Oishina Town, Princess Yui. And I really enjoyed this episode because it really broke the mold that Delicious Party had established for itself. It felt so different than any other. It felt fresh and it felt like a breath of fresh air in the PreCure franchise. And I really like the idea of having at least one episode in a season that totally breaks the mold. We had that in Tropical-Rouge, and then we have it again in Delicious Party in a very different way, obviously with the delicious vibe, the delicious feel, and I enjoyed it a lot. I also love Yui as a character, and I really like her personality. And I love when there are situations, like in this episode, that she is able to showcase her personality. So that was very lovely. But I wasn't the only one who had this as a favorite episode. There were 2 members that also chose episode 31 as their favorites. The first one was Kurosawa. He said, "I really enjoyed episode 31, the one with Princess Yui lookalike. I like how it was an episode that didn't follow the repetitive formula of the show, like not having the monster of the week. And I love how it gave Yui some much needed screen time. She really deserved more focused episodes." And Kaguya Hyoku 12 said, "Just like Kurosawa, my favorite was episode 31. Seeing Yui in a completely different environment trying to act the part was extremely funny. I expected an Bowser to come out of nowhere, but to my delight, it didn't happen. The girls had way more complicated things to do, like, I don't know, protecting actual royalty." And I love this observation because one of the best scenes of this episode is when the girls have to transform in front of Princess Maida, and Mari-chan finds a way for them to do that. That looked very suspicious, but still very funny. So yeah, this is my number 5. My number 4 is episode 30, very close to episode 31. Episode 30, which was called Festival. Here we go. Mari-chan's fried noodles. I love Mari, one of my favorite characters from Delicious Party. So it was very nice seeing Mari in action a little more, and Mari, you know, doing their best to win. Not only that, the girls also helping Mari in the yakisoba stand. I love the Go Princess reference that Amani made in this episode as well. Very funny, and I also loved the ending, which was very emotional with the girls watching the fireworks and Mari hugging them. Mari is a very special character in Delicious Party, and I feel like not only in Delicious Party, also in the whole PreCure franchise, Mari stands out a lot, and it's a character that should be celebrated. I'm glad that Mari had some pretty iconic moments in Delicious Party, and I feel like this episode was one of them, so I chose this as my number 4. Now for my 3rd place, I chose episode 5. I want to get close to them. Kokone's first friends. I think that Kokone was the best character from Delicious Party in terms of development and individual story. I loved it. It was incredible. Kokone is a lovely character who had a rough time trying to communicate with people. And in this episode, I think that it showcased a lot. We didn't know much about Kokone at that moment, and then we got to know more about her in that episode, and she can really shine through. Honestly, I adored it, and I can understand the hardships she has with communicating, because I also feel the same way, especially when I'm making new friends, when I'm getting to know new people. I'm always wary around them. Am I doing the right thing? Should I read a book on how to interact with them? This is something that has always happened in my life, and so I feel connected to Kokone, and this episode kind of made me remind of myself, so one of my favorites for sure. Now let's take a look at one of the members' favorite episodes, which didn't coincide with mine, but let's listen to what Marquita had to say about her favorite episode from Delicious Party PreCure.
Hi, my name is Marquita, and basically my favorite episode of Delicious Party PreCure was episode 40 when they found out that taco meat was black pepper. I was like so happy when they found out because I was waiting for that moment. But it's my favorite episode because it was kind of like an emotional episode at the same time, if you get what I'm saying. Like, he was kind of, you know, I felt like he was conflicted about if he should continue fighting or not, but when he did, it made him happy, and I felt like it made Yui happy because, you know, at the end Yui started crying because she found out it was him. So yeah, I feel like that was a good thing, and that's why that was my favorite episode.
Oh my god, isn't Marquita the cutest? Girl, Marquita, you're so cute. I really liked your video. Thank you very much for participating. That made me very happy and super adorable. Thank you very much. I feel like lots of people will agree with you. Black pepper's inclusion in the story made lots of people happy. I know lots of people love Black Pepper and they're big fans of him. And that episode was really a highlight of his character. Thank you very much. Now for my number 2, it's episode 43, which was called Activating the Recipe Bond, A Crisis in Oishina Town. This episode almost got my number 1 because I think it was incredible. What a way of closing a season. I mean, almost closing a season, because it was part of the last arc of Delicious Party, and I loved it. Girl, I think that if we're thinking about the last stretch, this was the best. We had Yui with no powers, we had the girls helping Yui, we had Yui staying behind all by herself, we had the girls and Mari fighting against Godots, and they were able to stand and hold their own. I loved that, and it was really incredible. I loved that moment so much. It was so strong. And this was an episode that made me cry. You know, when I was watching it, I really felt Yui's pain. I really felt her drama and her guilt into everything that she did and the consequences of her actions. But I really loved that the show didn't blame her for her choices. You know, she was just thinking on the behalf of her friends and protecting Black Pepper's identity. You know, she didn't want him to regret what he would do later. And she was, in my opinion, right. And I feel like episode 43 proved that to us. I loved it. I loved the way she reconnected with Takumi and to Kome, which were the two ones that suffered the most in the episode prior to this one. Loved that moment so much. It was so powerful. It was so strong. So that almost made me choose. I cried watching this episode. So yeah, very powerful. Episode 43. I love you. And my favorite episode of the season is no secret. It's episode 20. Episode 20 is called Table Manners with Amane, an experience at a restaurant. Look, when I started learning about the names of the episodes from that month, when I saw that episode, I thought, this is just gonna be Amane showing how regal and noble she can be. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. Amane was fire on that episode, and it was an episode between Amane and Kokone and their relationships. Kokone learning things about herself through Amane, and Amane also learning things about herself through Kokone. I love that. But it was not only that, you know, we had lots of special moments. We had Mari changing costumes, finally, that was great. All the girls changing costumes, and funny moments like Amane's lessons. But the most iconic moment of the season to me is the dance at the end of the episode between everybody, but most specifically between Amane and Kokone. Both of them are like the shyest girls. I mean, I wouldn't say Amane is shy, but she is kind of like more reserved than Yui and Ran. And then we have Kokone, who is shy and who has a very hard time communicating. And both of them really connected in this episode, and it culminated in the dance scene at the end. Wow, what a moment. But as I said, I wasn't the only one who chose this episode as my favorite. So let's take a look at other members that chose this as their favorites as well. We have Tracy, who said, I'd have to say my favorite episode this season was episode 44. I'm not the biggest fan of Delicious Party and I really did not enjoy the fights, but I was pleasantly surprised with how good the final fight was. Episode 20 is a close second though, because the Kokone Amane dance still gives me chills. Yes, totally, 100%. And also, Sportball Otaku 21 said, every single Kokone episode, because, I mean, come on, it's Kokone. Best thing to come out of the season. I agree. But if I had to choose one, I would say 20. And for reasoning, simple. A, the outfits at the restaurant. And B, the serious bond Kokone and Amane forged. Everything else was just icing on the cake. And I feel a little sad because this season didn't really carry through the relationship between Amane and Kokone. I mean, in promo images, we can see lots of moments between them together, but not much, you know, during the season. They were just like friends, part of the same group, but I really wish we did see more like we did in episode 20. I feel like it would have been even more powerful. But nonetheless, episode 20 is one of the strongest ones. And look, I'll never forget this episode. I love it so much. Anyways, those are my favorite moments, my favorite episodes from Delicious Party PreCure. What are yours? Please leave your top 5 in the comment box below and get ready for Cine Awards, which is coming soon. Anyways, babies, this is all for now. Thank you, a little bit more special thank you to the members who shared their opinions with me. Thank you very much. And a thank you to the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel as well. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for standing by me and making me want to continue doing this. I'm very, very thankful. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye!